Okay. Hey guys, it's Phantom, and welcome back, or welcome to another episode of the Ask Phantom podcast, episode 16. So today we're going to be talking about how to set up the perfect office, or what you need for a good office. So, as you guys know, I obviously work from home, but the reason why you'd probably want to have an office space over like maybe working at the dining room table or sitting at it, sitting like on your bed. Well, for one, sitting on your bed isn't very comfortable. Um, Especially for me, I can't sit on my bed and work. Um, like I even remember when I was in school and um, there was a time that I used to actually do my schoolwork in my room, which wasn't a very good idea because I would get distracted a lot. I would get distracted so much when I did school in my bedroom. That's why that's personally why I didn't do school work in my bedroom. But obviously, now that I'm not really in school anymore, and you know, I kind of work better with online school, to be honest. I've I've kind of known that for a while, that I'd work better in an online school setting if it's just me by myself. Oops. Gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to fix all these blankets. I get really cold all the time and I don't like it all that much. So there. So I plugged my computer back in. I'm gonna fix my blankets because I'm starting to get cold. So obviously, um, maybe a reason to set up an actual little office space in a bedroom would be, rather than like working on your bed, would be to, I guess, motivate you to actually get things finished and not procrastinate. Um, so yeah, the thing is, why I never liked doing school in my room was because I'd always get distracted. I'd get distracted so easily. So obviously having a space where you could sit and like get your work done, especially in times like this where everything especially in times like this where everything is online. Um you'd probably rather be sitting in a comfortable desk chair at a desk doing your schoolwork or whatever it is that you're using it for, or maybe it's like for schoolwork, college. College still counts as school. Um, so obviously, for someone like me, I would basically use my setup for pretty much everything. Um, like everything work related, and then probably for school most likely when I decide to go to college. I mean, I've already decided, but like when I actually go to college, I'll probably use it for like school as well. So I'm literally just gonna use it for everything and then use my laptop for like personal use. So yeah, like you want to have a space where you can sit down and get all. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to pet my cat. He's not letting me. So like you want to have a space where you can focus, where you can you want to have a space where you could focus, where you know that when you sit down every day, to start school or whatever, like start work for the day, you want to be like, oh, okay, I have to do this and this and this and blah blah blah, and I have to do this and this and film this or whatever you do. Or like, I mean, some people, they might write articles from home, and so they might be like, okay, I sit down, I gotta do this and I gotta do that and I gotta do this and this and this and this has to be done by a certain time, and like you just want to like sit at your desk and go into work mode immediately. So yeah, like plus it definitely helps if you like listen to music. So if you like put your headphones in and you listen to music while you work on things, it helps you like drown out all the distractions around you, and it helps. I mean, it just helps with focus sometimes. I mean, that's kind of how it was for me. It helped me with focus. So I'd always, you know, wake up, do school, wake up, do school for a couple hours, and, I'd eat lunch, I'd get back to doing school, and after school, I'd be pretty much done. But like you want to take breaks. So basically how I took breaks when I was in school, um, you know, basically you want to take breaks when you're doing online school, because you're sitting in front of a computer all day, and when you sit in front of a computer all day with no breaks, it develop you develop eye strain. So honestly, it does kind of matter what you do your schoolwork on, or like or you do your work on, basically. Like, for example, let's say if a teacher or if a professor um was wanting you to watch a video and fill something out at the same time. Now, sometimes teachers might do like physical worksheets where you have to fill stuff out, or like digital worksheets. Um, Basically, how my school did it was, um, sometimes we'd have digital worksheets that we'd fill out, and other times we'd just like get everything from our teacher or from our teachers and fill it out ourselves, like print it out and fill it out ourselves and turn it in. Um, Pretty much. So yeah, that's how it basically worked. But you know, sometimes you may need a dual monitor setup where it's I personally I don't recommend a laptop because you can't like split, or it's like really difficult to split the screen on something like a MacBook. I kind of forgot how to split the screen. Um I don't know. Like, I feel like I forgot. So plus looking at one screen isn't good for you. So looking at like proper monitors that don't necessarily hurt your eyes would be a better option when you're sitting at your computer working on school or working on whatever. So you want to have like a proper seating space. You want to have a desk with enough room, like, enough. I guess, wiggle room and enough room for your arms, enough room for your hands and for your legs so that you're not like bumping into your desk. Personally, I think that the desk that I have is a good fit because the tower fits. I can put a couple things on the desk other than just the computer, or, other than just the peripherals. Like, let's say I'd have enough room for notebooks and my little pencil thingy. It's this little tin. There are these little, like, cute tins that I keep pencils and writing utensils in, and like a little thing of sticky notes. But yeah, like obviously if you have a professor in college or something like that. I'm sorry, I have a bad eyelash. I freaking hate bad eyelashes. So if you have like a professor in college or something and they want you to like watch a video or something like that and they want you to fill something out at the same time, or if you're one of those people that have to like look back at something for help, um, for assistance, then maybe having a dual monitor is a good thing. Plus, trust me, having a dual monitor when you're a videographer is very important because you want to be able to have a screen, you want to be able to have, or to see when you're recording and to see like stuff when you're editing, or maybe you're one of those people that like watch things back and be like, oh I didn't like that, I have to cut that out, or oh I didn't whatever, or oh I like that, I'm gonna keep that in. But yeah, it's so much easier when you're like working on other things to have like a dual or triple monitor setup. Um, I don't even think I'd have enough room for triple monitors. And what I mean by like triple monitors would be probably one of the best types of monitors would be a vertical monitor. Um, so that you have like maybe a chat box open for like if you're in school and you need to chat with the teacher, and then you have your like your other monitor windows that your assignments on, and then you have your whatever you use your other monitor for. I don't I don't know. Or like, for maybe a video or something that your professor or your teacher wants you to watch or whatever. So, yeah, that can totally help you. And then my advice would be to get wireless peripherals. So like a wireless keyboard if you don't want like a ton of wires taking up your like taking up your desk. And I know that like cable management is the most annoying thing ever, so the less cables you have to deal with, the better, in my opinion. I mean, I honestly want like a wireless keyboard and a wireless mouse combo. I think it'll work best for me. because I don't want a lot of cords. Plus, if you have animals, they like to chew on cords. It's very annoying. It's extremely annoying that pesky animals like to chew on cords. But it's normal. It's not a good thing, but it's normal. So yeah, you wanna be productive. You want to know that when you sit down every day, that you have to get your stuff. That you have to get your stuff done, and then you'd have more time for what you want to do. Which is something I'll talk about in the next episode, which is going to be talking about online schooling. I know I do a couple episodes regarding online school, but this one is the reasons. This one is going to be full in depth of why someone should do online school over a brick and mortar. And if you guys don't know what brick and mortar schools are, it's a school where you go to a physical building every day, and it's like a brick and mortar public or private school where you physically go to school every day. Or a brick and mortar college where you physically are on campus and you go to class every day. So yeah, I'm going to talk about that in the next episode, so stay tuned. So you want to know, so back to this episode, back to this topic. So when you sit down every day to either do your schoolwork or do your paperwork or do whatever it is you have to do, you want to sit down and know that you have to get this stuff done, and you want to be motivated to actually do your work. And half of the thing is your atmosphere and where you're and basically where your little space is. So for me, when I get up to work and sit at my desk, I want to be able to sit there and be like, I want to sit there and be comfortable and be like, okay, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this, just get in that zone where no one can disturb you or distract you. Personally, I would keep the TV off. I keep my TV off a lot of the time anyways. It's just easier for me so that I don't distract myself. I should have thought of that a long time ago when I was in high school, so that I wouldn't distract myself, because I would literally sit and watch Daria while doing my homework in high school. And that wasn't a good thing. Plus, high school was very stressful. It wasn't a good time. So I'm just glad to be done with high school. But obviously, you want to have a good experience either way. Obviously, you want to have a good experience either way. Plus, there's other reasons why online school is better than a brick and mortar, for obvious reasons, which I will get into in the next episode. So, obviously, you want to have a good workspace where you can sit down and get all your stuff done and still be and still feel productive that day and not feel like you're not doing anything. Because some days I feel so unmotivated to work some days I feel so unmotivated to work, and like even if I'd want to work, I mean, I don't work on holidays, obviously. I don't work on holidays. Um, Obviously, I take holidays off, and I don't force myself to. I don't force myself to film when I'm not in the mood to, but I still get my work done. Um, I'm also an author, so obviously I get a lot of stuff done that way as well. And I do my podcast when I feel motivated, or like when there's a topic I really want to talk about. Um, so yeah, you want to have a space where you sit down and you know that you're gonna get that you're gonna zoom through your work, but in an accurate manner, and slow down and pay attention to what you're doing so that you don't mess anything up. Um, and Everything like that, and you just want to have a good atmosphere. So like things like you know, trying to stay organized. Um, Trying to stay organized is a big one. That's why I keep like um writing utensils in little tins so that they're not everywhere. Plus, I have like pencil cases. Plus, I have pencil cases that I keep my other um, writing utensils inside of, which when I actually get my office set up, I'm going to move that pencil case in and put it somewhere, probably on the shelf. I don't know where. I'm still thinking, but obviously you'd want to have a pencil case, and then you'd want to have a little holder for your other utensils, for your other writing utensils that you could have on hand. That's basically why I use tins. Um, so I could have them on hand if I ever want to write something or whatever. And then I have notebooks, planners. I don't even think I use planners, but I used to. I used to use planners. Um, a long time ago when I was in school. Now I don't think I use planners anymore. Now I just use Notion to like plan out videos or plan out podcasts. But as I said, I don't force myself to do podcasts. I do it when I'm inspired to. So, like, for example, the next episode, which is going to be talking about online school, I actually have been watching a ton of online school videos. Um, I'm subscribed to a lot of people on YouTube that do online school. Um, I mean, there's also traditional homeschooling, but I'm more of an online school type of person. Um, I mean, there's a ton of reasons why people choose online school / online college over brick and mortar, which I'm going to talk about. Whether it's like your job or whatever. I'm going to talk about that because I'm going to go like into detail of why people choose online school / online college. Um, so having a good workspace, being motivated to actually get your work done. That's a big one. Because working from home and doing school from home can be very stressful for some people. Especially if they're not used to like online school or whatever. It can be very stressful for some people, and I get it. But also, so can public brick and mortar education. It can be very stressful for a lot of people, and knowing what I went through, I was very stressed in high school. Plus, I was one of those people that was very, I have a work mindset. I have work mindset. I cared more about my job than school, or I didn't feel motivated all the time to do school, and like basically work took over my entire life. Um, but I buckled down and took some time took some time away from work, and I got through high school, and you can get through high school as well. It's just some people prefer online over brick and mortar. Um, there's a ton of reasons. I'm not going to get into it in this episode, but in the next episode, that's all I'm focusing on. So yeah, and plus like doing your research before you decide, oh, I want to do online schooling. Like know what you're gonna have to sacrifice, and know that it's not easy, and plus you don't have teachers or professors on you about whatever. Like I know that when I switched to distance learning, um my teachers, when I was in high school, my teachers basically sent out assignments weeks in advance, or like weeks to a month in advance, and we'd get that done, and then when I can't talk, and then when we got that finished, we would turn it in. Like, I mean, we'd have um physical worksheets we'd have to do, and then we'd do our other stuff. Plus some people were in like I don't know, like this study hall thing where we would write in our journal, or we would write in these notebook journals about how we think we were doing and what we were struggling in our classes, which was very helpful. Plus, as I said, school was a very stressful time for me, even before all this happened. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in the next episode, like going into detail, telling you why, and just my experience. So yeah, you want to have a space where you can sit down and work, and get all of your work done for school or actual work. Um, Plus, there are ways to motivate yourself um, in an office setting. Um, like you can, I don't know, for some people, like my motivation was being able to write every single day. So when I took breaks from school, I'd basically spend my break working on my book, or on my books. So I'd spend that time writing, and when I didn't have homework, I'd spend that time writing. So yeah, honestly, honestly, I don't really know what else to talk about. Obviously, like, you'd want to have you'd want to have a desk that saves space. You'd want to have um space for all your equipment, like your um let's say maybe like tape or scissors or whatever. Um, like tape or scissors or pens or pencils or notebooks, whatever you use. Um, which is why shelving could be pretty important. And then for all that stuff, and then you'd want to have like your peripherals. For some people, it's about aesthetics. I mean, it's partially aesthetics for me. Like, I have these. I am not rude. I said I am not rude. Like, you want to have your space. You want to have your space look nice, which could be why, people like RGB lights, and put them on their desk or behind their monitors. But it's not all about aesthetics. It's about, um, it's not all about aesthetics and looks. It's also about, um, like productivity and motivation to actually do things, because there are times when it's like, I'm on a roll to get things done, and then there are days when I want to work, but I'm like, maybe I don't feel good or whatever, just for examples. And then I, take some time for myself. Like, I don't force myself to work every day, but I do get work done. I get a lot of work done, actually. Um, like putting the putting the episodes putting the episodes up on Patreon. That is part of my job. So I'm technically working. And then I may, write some books. That's technically work for me. So yeah, I totally understand why some people prefer sitting at a desk to work over sitting on their bed, because oh my gosh, when you're on your bed, you're like, it's so comfortable, and then you end up maybe watching television or falling asleep, which I'm very prone to doing. I sleep so much, I nap so much. So I think sitting somewhere that is not my bed to get my work done would be the best option for me, so that I actually sit down and feel productive, and then I can, stop work whenever I want. I can stop working whenever I want to, and, do whatever and come back to it later. So, yeah, plus you don't wanna like take up small spaces. Plus, you don't want to take like up super small spaces or take up a lot of room in one space, which could be why people like using a desk space. Plus, there's a lot of things that you'd probably put on a desk, which is why it would get cluttered all the time. So, keeping it clean is very important. Keeping your workspace clean is very important. Um, cleaning up after yourself is obviously important. Um, and taking breaks is important as well when you're working in an office for so long. Like, getting up to stretch your legs, take care of yourself, eat, do all that. So yeah. Plus it's just better to sit in a comfortable chair rather than sit somewhere where you're not comfortable. Comfort for me is very important when it comes to where I work at. So yeah, just having a space where you can get your work done and feel comfortable and feel motivated and feel inspired to work every day is good for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to leave a like, comment, and please subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening on the podcast, on podcast platforms, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on Anchor or wherever you get your podcasts from. I mean, there's a ton of places my podcast is. It's also on this platform called. Let me just. It's also on this platform called Good Pods, apparently. Which, I mean, I've never heard of. I've never heard of Good Pods, but my podcast is also on there. So yeah, there's a ton of places my podcast is. So hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and please subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Because let me tell you, this podcast is pretty much everywhere, except for SoundCloud, because I don't know how to get that working at all. I really don't. So with that said, I'm going to go, and be sure to look out for the next episode where we talk about online schooling. And with that said, I'm going to go, and goodbye, guys.